Hi guys and girls, it's Russ from russhappyti.com. Without a doubt, the most popular question that I get when I'm working in my gym from women and men alike is, Russ, I want to lose weight, I want to cut body fat, but I've got no freaking idea how to do it, where to get started. Because usually they say things like, this celebrity diet says you've got to do this, whereas a friend of mine says, no, you should do this instead. And they don't know what to do, they don't know who to believe, where to basically start with losing weight. So over the course of the next 2 to 3 videos, we're going to show you, alright? I think we've got roughly 10 to 15 steps. We're going to break them up 5 each video. We'll explain why in a second. If you follow these steps, you will get results, okay? No matter what experience level you're at, no matter what weight you're trying to reach or what weight you are now, if you apply these tips, you will get results with your weight loss, with your diet, okay? Particularly if you're exercising too, even better results. Before we show you the 5 tips from the day, I want you to take a picture of yourself right now. That's the most important thing you can do when you're dieting, and it's the one thing everybody regrets, particularly after you've got results. And like I say, if you apply the tips we're going to give you today, you will get results. So take this picture right now today. I don't care what you look like, what you feel like, whether you don't like your body right now, it doesn't matter. This picture is for 6 months from now, and you will not believe how important it will become. Not just with helping yourself, but with inspiring others as well. We'll show you what to do with it at the end of the video today. Alright? So once you've got that picture, then we're going to move on. The reason we're going to break the videos up is because these tips are proven, they're very simple. However, if we give you all 10 to 15 in one video, you'll be at the end thinking, where do I get started? So I'm going to show you first 5 today. Apply these to your diet like from today or from tomorrow morning. And then the next time you upload the follow-up video, you can apply the next 5. And basically by the end of a few weeks, you will have an absolutely solid diet that is proven to work without gimmicks, without having to go out and buy magical weight loss products, all that nonsense. We're just going to show you the basics of how to understand it, because I feel that's where a lot of people get lost. There's a lot of money to be made in diet, so there tends to be not very many people are willing to explain the basics to someone starting out, because, like I say, there's potential for selling crazy diets and stuff like that, big products. So first of all, rule number 1, if you're ready to get started, let's get going. Rule number 1, the foundation of a diet is you need to work at a calorie deficit. For those of you that aren't sure what that means, basically you need to eat less calories than what you're used to eating at the moment. Simple, right? A lot of people go wrong with it though. A lot of people actually work too hard. You ever seen those crazy celebrity diet plans that I'm sure someone at your office or your work has done? And what tends to happen is they cut your calories by so much, so drastically, that you get good results for the first 3 or 4 days, although you do feel a bit ill, don't feel very good for it, and then all of a sudden after about a week you hit this wall and you physically cannot lose any more weight no matter what you do. What happens is when you cut your calories too much, it forces your body to slow down your metabolism, and it's basically storing as much of this food as it can as energy. You're storing fat even though you're pretty much starving yourself and not eating any of your favourite junk foods. What a nightmare, right? You don't want to be there. So, a safer way to diet and a more effective way to diet is cut your calories by roughly 200 per day. Now, if you're not sure how to work out your daily calories, watch the video. We'll try and put the link up there if I can remember how to do it. I am a fitness instructor, I'm not very technical, I'll try and remember. We'll put the link up there. Watch that, it'll show you how to work out a good solid daily calorie intake for whatever weight you want to be, whatever weight you are now, alright? But if you're nowhere near the target that you get, don't just suddenly chop your calories in half. That's a bad way to do it. Cut it by about 200 a day, just like each week until you get to whatever calorie target you want, because you'll actually get better results that way. You know, a big change is just too much for your body to handle. So you don't need to work that hard, right? Tip number 2. This one's quite important, often overlooked. You've got to increase your protein intake when you're dieting, okay? A lot of diets now, when you're trying to cut fat, you'll be consuming less fatty foods, less carb-heavy foods, but you need to increase protein in your diet, because the number 1 thing your body's going to look to do when there's less carbs, it's going to try and burn amino acids from protein. It's going to basically try and burn off lean muscle. You don't want to do that. And I'm not talking ladies like I know you probably don't want to get big and muscular or anything, but even ladies don't want to be burning off muscle tissue. You want to be losing the bad weight, not the good weight, right? So increase your protein levels, and what that will do is it will stop you from losing muscle, and it'll encourage fat loss instead. All right, that's what we want. That's how you lose weight and keep it off, basically. But a lot of people forget to do it, and they just cut out everything. Tip number 3. This is quite a handy one. Again, it's often overlooked. Snacking on protein. Okay, the number one thing that happens when you snack, usually we go for carbs or fat, negative, bad fats. When we do that, if you're snacking on carbs and fat, you're probably going to put on body fat. Okay, it's what we do. It's how our bodies work. But protein has the least impact on fat storage of all the macronutrients: carbs, protein, and fat. Protein has the least impact on storing fat. So if you're going to snack, try and get a good source of protein as that snack. So whether it's some chickens, turkey, some fish, a protein shake, you'll be amazed that little change how much good that can do for your body. All right. A lot of people snack without even realizing it, which brings us to our 4th tip. This is my favourite of the whole lot, because it's something which people love this tip when they've been doing it for a couple of weeks. They don't realise how important this one is, and this involves little tubs. Okay. Before you go to work, I want you to think what you do when you're at work. Okay, because a lot of people snack on bad foods without even realising it. And what I would suggest to do is, on the morning, get yourself a couple of little tubs like this. You can't fit very much in here. Fill it up with a few snacks. All right, you can probably get like a 50-calorie snack in here, maybe it's 100 if you add a push. But it doesn't allow for a huge fatty meal. Now, if you're at work and you've got nothing to snack on, nothing in your bag, nothing at your desk, what are you going to do? You're probably going to run to the vending machine and buy some chocolate or some crisps or something that we associate in our mind with instant energy. You know, I'm starving, I want something now. If you haven't got anything, that's what most people do, and they don't realise that they're doing it. They don't include that in their daily calorie intake. It's just habit. We don't realise it. The people that do this little tip here for a couple of weeks, all of a sudden they've got healthy snacks. Take some fruit in one of those. Just anything healthy, anything that's not a fatty food, protein sources. And snack on those instead during the day, and it will keep you feeling fuller for longer, and you will be amazed at the weight loss results. That's a favourite with people at the gym, because they often come back and say, I didn't even realise how often I was doing that until I started using these little tubs instead. So you can pick them up for like a couple of pound, and the difference it'll make is crazy, particularly if you work in an office or somewhere where you're sat down all day and constantly staring at the vending machine. I've been there, you know, before I was an instructor. I did that type of work for a while, so I know what that's like. Temptation. Tip number 5, have a day off. This is my favourite day of the week. How many diets have you seen where people tend to, it's not so much dieting, it's more like punishing yourself for wanting a better body. You know what I mean? They cut out all of their favourite goddamn foods. You see these diets where it's like, I want you to eat nothing but rice for the next 3 weeks. Would you lose weight like that? I mean, most people can't stick to it. You know, it's just a terrible diet. You should have variety in your diet. I'll tell you what you would do, though. You'd be going out of your goddamn mind if you did that. I would. Don't cut out your favourite foods, okay? What I would suggest is, every Sunday, or whatever day works best for you, when you're not going to use the gym, have yourself a day off. I don't mean, you know, there's a difference between cheat day and Christmas day. Don't go crazy. Don't have like a massive meal of all your favourite cakes and stuff. But treat yourself on that day. Reward yourself for the week's efforts, okay? You don't need to go crazy with your calorie count. I always say the best, most effective diets are the ones where you don't actually feel like you're dieting. So remember that video I pointed you to in the first step. Once you've got that base amount of calories, you know roughly what to aim for. It doesn't matter if some days you go over and some days you go under a little bit, as long as you're round about that amount. Just don't feel like you're counting calories, because that's what makes your diet feel like a chore, and it shouldn't. So every Sunday, have yourself a little day off, or whatever other day you want. Treat yourself. It'll help you stick to your diet long term. Sure, you know, you'll get a few bad calories in your system, but ultimately, the number one problem with diets is that people cannot stick to them. So by having your favourite food, it actually means you'll probably stick to your diet for about 4 times as long as you have in the past. Alright? Plus, it'll remind you why you like those foods in the first place. You know, it's not a treat if you're having it after every meal, whereas it is a treat if you're kind of looking forward to it all week. You know what I mean? So that one there is quite important. And again, a lot of people don't do it, and we tend to find they come off the rails at the end of the month, or they have a weekend away, eat loads of bad food, and all of a sudden they quit completely. So just use your common sense with that one. Yeah, have a day off, nothing wrong with it. Alright? It's actually part of your diet. The 5 tips we've done today, I want you to apply those right now. Okay? Right now, if you're looking to lose weight. Take a picture and get to work on those. The next video that I upload, we're going to give you the next 5 tips. It'll probably be in a couple of weeks to give you a chance to get used to doing this first. Apply those into your diet. We're going to talk about stuff like the difference between low carbs and no carbs. Very common mistake people make. One of them's really good and one of them's terrible. But again, there's not a lot of people that are out there that are prepared to tell you the difference and why one will help you lose weight and one will absolutely kill your progress. Because there's a lot of money to be made from people failing at their diets, and we don't like that sort of thing. So we'll show you stuff like that as well as a few other tips. And hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Now, what I was saying about the progress picture, what we're going to do is, as I say, these tips will work. Guaranteed. You apply these, you'll get a solid foundation, and when you take another progress picture in a few months' time, I want you to upload it on our Facebook page. Go on Facebook, search for Russ Howe PTI, click like on the page to get our videos every week. And then when you feel like, you know, I'm really happy with my results, take another picture, upload both of them, before and now. Not before and after. I hate that term because that implies that you're finished. Before and now. Basically boast, show people. The best thing about losing weight is inspiring others to do it and showing them you don't need to go out and spend a fortune on miracle supplements and e-books and stuff like that. It's just about getting the basics right, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. Anyway, right now I've got to go pick up my son from school and then get to work in my gym later on. So I'm going to end today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. You can catch me on Facebook. Feel free to ask any questions you want. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.